The beginning of this week's parashat, Parashat Lech Lecha, starts with perhaps the most famous words in the Torah. Lech Lecha me'artzecha u'mimolatecha u'mibeit avicha el ha'aretz asher areka. God tells Avraham Avinu to leave his home, to leave everything he knew, and to come to Eretz Yisrael. Lech Lecha. But is Lech Lecha the best phrase for this command that God tells Avraham Avinu? Lalechet in Hebrew means to go. And we go two places. When we leave somewhere, the verb used isn't lalechet, but the word used is latzet. To leave is latzet. I leave somewhere, but I go to a place. So that God's telling Avraham Avinu to leave his family, me'artzecha, from his land, from his birthplace. If he's being told to leave, the verb that the Torah should have used is tzeh me'artzecha, leave your land. So why is it that the Torah, instead of saying the word tzeh, why is it that the Torah says lech lecha me'artzecha? And the answer to that question is an answer that will give strength to everyone who's ever been on a journey, who's ever had to uproot themselves and move from one place to another. The pre-tzaddik, Rav Tzadok HaKohen Milublin, explains with the most significant interpretation for these words. And he says that we're reading the pasuk incorrectly. Lech Lecha means go. Where should Avraham Avinu go? Go to Eretz Yisrael. It's time to go El Ha'aretz Asher Areka, to the land that I will show you, meaning that Avraham Avinu needs to go to Eretz Yisrael. But how is he to go there? How is he to find the courage and the ability to uproot and move somewhere new? He has to go me'artzecha, me'molatecha, or mibeit avicha. You have to take your birthplace, your father's house, the land. You take those things with you when you go on your journey to the new place. You can't cut yourself off. You never leave the place you came from. Wherever you are, you bring your background, your upbringing, your childhood. You bring those experiences with you wherever you go. What God is telling Avraham Avinu is to take the person that you have become, take your childhood experiences, take your father's house, take the country that you come from, bring all of those things, and with them come and start a new life in Eretz Yisrael. You know, I'm not very au fait with psychological theories, but Freud and others spoke about the dangers of trying to cut off from your past, to burn your bridges, to imagine that certain events in our lives didn't happen. When you run away from your past, that's a recipe for disaster. You don't run away from your past. You take your past with you onto the next stage of your journey. So that blessing for all of us as we learn from Avraham Avinu at the beginning of this week's parasha. When we go on a journey, lalechet, when we go to where we need to go, we must always take our past with us. However difficult that past is, however challenging that past is, you can't run away from your past. You have to take it with you, and you have to figure out how to utilize it and make it a helpful stepping stone for the next successful stage of our lives. So with blessings for all of us on the next stage of our journey, and with a blessing for a Shabbat Shalom Umvorach to us all.